G'day, legends. Welcome to the Pot Noodle and Celtic Down Under. I'm your host, Jared, and joining me, it's the militant boys. We've got Dan and Liam. How you going, Dan?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. It's been a little while, so happy to be back.
And Liam, how you going?
Well, I've had a great weekend. This wasn't it. I'm just saying I have had great weekends at points in the past,
Yeah, fair enough too, mate. Fair enough. Yeah, it's interesting situation here. So many different pod episode names I had go through, and I'm like, can't use that one, can't use that one, get demonetized for that one, probably get the channel down that way. So I settled on, have we fired him yet?
Well, I have literally got like every minute I am refreshing Celtic news now, hoping the announcement is going to come through.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad situation. There you go. I just had to I censored myself a little bit for the old overlords at YouTube that are demonetized. But yeah, I think it was a pretty fair assessment, honestly. Like when we look at it, and we'll talk about the game in a little bit, but yeah, it's just I didn't expect to win that game. And even at halftime, you were sitting there and you're like, yeah, okay, let's see if we can put a full game together, full 90. So yeah, it was a interesting one there. But yeah, we'll just bring up some comments here. Heavy vibes. Thanks for tuning in. Hail, boys. Smell the glovers. Hail, happy clappers. Wake up. Benny is saying, hail, boys. Are you announcing the sacking on Nancy? Well, if it happens while we're live, we will be.
Hopefully.
And then Bonnie's, g'day, fellas. Andrew, hello, everyone. Heavy vibes. This is a good one we can get to before we get to the game. Boycott, or boycott, big one. Jeez. Well, I think there's quite a bit to unpack there. So, yeah, here they come. There we go. We're gonna get some Happy New Year, guys. It's a word on everyone's lips. We're gonna get joined in the comments today, everyone, by some of the least intelligent humans on the planet. So just prepare yourselves for that. I'll try and block them as we go.
And if it's worse, we might get some Huns as well.
Exactly.
I was going to say, I thought Gerard was more a Thursday guy, but
I was going to say Wilfred Nancy and his coaching staff are in the comments, everyone.
Oh, God.
There we go.
Not on the training ground, is he? So
no, not at all. He's up some pub somewhere in the Highlands. I got today and tomorrow off. See, going to Derby, get beat, and then have a couple of days off.
To be fair, if I was in Scotland and I knew my visa was probably getting revoked before the end of the week, I'd be going up the Highlands as well and having a good time. So, don't blame him.
Fair enough. At least he's not out swimming in Loch Lomond or whatever it is. So anyway, we'll just get into the game. It was the weirdest feeling going into a Glasgow derby in a long, long time. I think that's probably the easiest way for me to sum up how I felt going into the game. Like, you're going in, I'm not feeling confident. I'm thinking we could get an absolute scudding here. And yeah, it didn't end very well. But there was a few things there that jumped out to me. But we'll go to the starting lineup. So you had Casper in goals, Ralston, Trusty, Tierney as your back three. Then at wing back, you had McCowan on the left, I think it was, and the Yang Gang representing on the right. And then middle of the park was Engels and Kelmack. In front of that, who was the other midfielder, Liam? Because, yeah.
Engels.
Yeah, I'll completely misjudge that. And then we've got Kenny, Maida, and I've completely lost this list. Oh, there you go. Nigrin. And there you go. My list is completely all over the place. I hate when they do these out of order lists. Oh, number order completely throws me. But yeah, it was like looking at that going, yeah, we're a bit lightweight. We're a bit small compared to them. And yeah, I wasn't very confident seeing that. I was like, this game either has to go perfect for us in terms of we have to have control of the speed, because if it turns into a physical slog like Glasgow derbies usually are, I thought that was going to play into their benefit. So, what was your thoughts heading into the game, Dan?
Yeah, look, much the same. It was quite interesting. The first time I can remember in a long time that I just had pure fear that we were going to get smashed from the outset, and then as we'll obviously talk about the game, but things sort of picked up, and it wasn't that we were amazing, but we were decent enough, and the Huns were fucking horrendous, and they say it's the hope that gets you. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. Get that little bit of hope, and you get kicked right in the past the 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll give it a bit of leeway. You get kicked right in the what's
The bollocks.
well, yeah.
We're past 5 minutes, mate. Go for it.
Right in the gonads. There you go.
Yeah. Look, I was gonna say it's a kick in the dicks. So either way, this 3-4-2, whatever the. It's just so hard to have any excitement or any intrigue around it. The squad we've got is just absolutely not up for it at all. Even the guys we've got playing in their right positions, like Kasper Schmeichel, he's just gone off a cliff. He's done, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit more. But we're sort of shoehorning guys in left and right, and through the centre, and it's just not. There's nothing to get excited about. You're going into when I grew up, I'm not old enough to remember the Tony Cascarino or anything like that. I grew up, when I really remember growing up watching Celtic was sort of just a little bit before Henrik Larsson, but obviously my best memories, around that sort of 10, 11, 12 years old was Henrik Larsson, Chris Sutton, John Hartson, and to have Johnny Kenny starting up top with Shin Yamada on the bench as your options, it's fucking bleak. There's no other way I can express it. It's so bleak at the moment. There just doesn't really feel. I don't know how, what, where, or when. Generally, when something's going wrong, you go, right. If we got rid of this person, or if we change to this, I don't think sacking Nancy changes all that much in the short to medium term. I don't think, clearly looking at some, and I'm sure we'll discuss some of the signings. Whoever we're looking at, I don't think is going to come in and make a huge impact. The one guy that we seem to be most concrete linked with is injured for the next 2 weeks. So I'm rather apathetic at the moment, which is not where I want to be, and it's quite unusual when it comes to Celtic for me. But the ongoing conflict with the board and now the flow-on effect that we're seeing on the park has very much sort of ground me down at the moment.
Hey, Liam, I think you need to take your glasses off and just pretend to give them to Dan like I'm doing here, because him saying that like Nancy isn't going to cause a massive, like him leaving is going to change things. He needs 8 eyes to fucking reassess that thought.
No,
Seriously.
I didn't say it wouldn't change things. I don't think it changes much dramatically. The structural issues are still there, regardless, and that's the ultimate problem for me. He should definitely be sacked. Let me just go on the record. He should be sacked. Yeah. He should never have been given the job. But
I'll say the same thing I said at the end of the match day thing on Axom, which I deserve. I think I deserve a great deal of credit for getting through that, not only without alcohol, but without swearing at any of the Huns in the comments. So, thank you. I said at the end of the show, if we get rid of Nancy this week, we can still win the league. Despite all the other problems, which Dan is right about, getting rid of Nancy isn't going to solve 90% of Celtic's problems. But we'll at least get a manager in who's going to play a formation that the players know how to play. And, right now, watching Celtic is like watching a guy play FIFA who's just jabbing the buttons and doesn't know how they work. That's what it's like. It is like when your 5-year-old wee cousin takes your PlayStation and doesn't know the buttons and is trying to play FIFA. That is what it looks like. Sometimes you pull off a brilliant goal like Yang. Other times you sclaff a 5-yard pass because you don't know what you're doing. And that's the character of Wilfred Nancy's team. Get him out, and at least we stop the rot. We cannot get any worse. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Like the way we're playing, the shape, everything just makes no sense. Where he's wanting to overload on the pitch, I don't get it. Like I seen a still of one of their goals, and from that throw in when what was it, their second goal, when Ralston throws it in, and he's the right sided centre back, so he's basically taken himself out of position and he throws it to the left wing back. So it's taken two defenders out of position, and we get caught out, right?
Mhm.
And when you have a look at it, you've got Tierney on the left side trying to cover three players. You've got another, sorry, outside of three players, not even inside. Like basically, the easiest way to sum it up is if you got goal to goal and you got a line running up the middle of the field, Tierney's not even there to cover anyone. He's like outside of him. Then you've got two midfielders in front of two of theirs. So it looks like we're going all out attack, yet we've weakened ourselves. It's just ridiculous. Some of the stuff, the positioning on the field, like, yeah, it's ridiculous
I
what's
think
going on.
even just on that, because I saw the same still you did and the breakdown, and it left Trusty hugely exposed. He made the wrong call not to go to the man with the ball, but ultimately he was exposed damningly. But I did see some fella respond to that with, "Look, this is not how a normal, you know, MLS Nancy team sets up." This, so there is, at that point, that's clearly not what he would have wanted either. And again, I know I'm just coming across like I'm defending the guy, but that's on Ralston for getting himself out of position and then fucking it up, which it's gonna. I mean, Tony fucking Ralston, for Christ's sake. There is all this talk, and yes, he should be gone. The players are fucking down tools because of the manager. They've got absolutely no interest in. There's no fight. There's no ability in half these blokes. They've given up, and I'm sure we'll talk about Luke McCowan later. But how much more obvious does it needs to be? And you go into that position, and you can talk about the 3-4-2-1 or whatever, the system, whatever you. But ultimately, if you've got guys making silly mistakes, they're going to get punished even at this level. That's a fucking dog shit Hun side. They were dog shit. And we handed them opportunities like that. We had 3-on-1 at the other end, and you've got Johnny Kenny who's too scared to shoot, turn back in and around and look for someone, and all of a sudden give them a chance to get five blokes back before anyone can blink.
Well, on that, we'll just jump into the first half, right? Because like that is the segue that I wanted to get anyway, is that we're looking at it first half, we were up and about. They were winning a lot of the second balls whenever it went to the air, but then when the ball was on the floor, quick one touch, two touch passes, and bang, 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 off we go. We looked amazing, like in full flow. So that's what people are saying. But at the same time, they got at us just as much as we got at them. We scored one goal. They had one chalked off. And this kid's my spirit animal, I'll tell you that much. Like, what an absolute little legend.
That's our man of the match right there.
Yep, exactly. But the thing is, like, we should have been 3 or 4 clear at half time. That's the chances we were getting. And we shanked them. Butland, well deserved man of the match, I will say it. Like, that's the difference between having a goalkeeper who's fallen off the edge of a cliff in Schmeichel. And, like, I wouldn't even say Butland's in good form, but massive difference between the two ends of the field. And
He looks competent.
Aye,
exactly.
that's it. Competent. He's just
That's
doing his job that he's supposed to do. And
exactly. Yeah. And it shits me to tears. It's not like we've only got Casper and then on the bench all we've got is Ross Doohan. Or we've got Scott Bain, a Scott Bain type still sitting there as the backup, right? We have a fully fledged Finland international goalkeeper on our bench. The guy who's been brought in to be mentored and trained up by Stevie Woods. And thanks for everything, Stevie. He'll be back in a couple of weeks, mate. But you're trained up by Stevie Woods, understudy to Casper to take that jersey off him. Well, it needs to happen. But back to what I'm saying is, like, the first half, it looked really good going forward. Defensively, we still look shaky. And that's why I was saying early on before that at half time, I still was like, yeah, there's goals in this. They've got goals in them. We should have goals in us, but I couldn't see where they were going to come from because, as you guys said, Johnny Kenny gets the ball in a position, put a shot in, and he shits it. shits the bed. Or you get guys on the wing, putting a shit cross in. Or we get a corner and we try this short corner routine again. Like, have a look at when Engels gets over and puts a nice cross in. Trusty should have put a goal in off that corner, right? Spot on. Like, someone I want to talk about in the first half is I thought Engels was one of our better players. Yang was the best player in the first half. Engels, not in terms of his tackling, but he's intercepting the ball when they were trying to play out from the back. And then his range of passing through the lines really made us look dangerous. That was something that jumped out to me. And I'm like, okay, cool. This looks good. I can see this. It's promising. But half time come and fuck me dead. I'd love to know what was said in both locker rooms, because I can tell you what, Danny Roll's gone in there and he's got his notebook out and he's made one tactical sub, made one adjustment, come out and has expected it. You would think any manager, even someone like us who probably played FIFA growing up or Football Manager or whatever, like I know you play Football Manager, Dan, right? You would probably know going into halftime in that situation that, okay, he's going to make a change. He's going to try and fix his midfield because they're getting overrun. So then you need to make a change to counter that. Not sit on your hands till the 70th minute and do fuck all and just watch your team leak goals.
Just for the record, in my current save, it is 2029, and I tried to implement a 3-4-2-1, and we copped 3 at Aberdeen, so I changed back to my 4-3-2-1.
There you go.
As any competent manager would do.
I just got Football Manager delivered today to get for because my wife's family's Serb, so we have their Christmas on Wednesday. So I'll be getting Football Manager on my second Christmas on Wednesday. So happy days. Here we go.
2029, Dan. You better hurry up and get the league one before Skynet blows the whole thing to hell.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem. Look, the real problem I've got is that Calmac still doesn't move out of the centre circle all that much. So, a lot of back passes. So that's a bit harsh. Johnny Kenny might come good yet in 2029.
Mikey Johnson is Mikey Johnson playing decent too? I know he's not with Celtic, but is he doing anything?
I'll do some research and find out for you. I know. It really pains me because I've still only got FM24, and so I have the ability to keep O, even though I'm like, but he's dog shit. But he's worth like 14 million quid after the first season on there. It's insanely ridiculous. Obviously, they thought he was going to be great, so he's just such a beautiful cash cow. Anyway, there's your FM24 update from a guy who's still on holidays, and that's all I'm doing.
Hey, have you put the Peter Lowell mod in it yet? You've got to generate 50 million in revenue to get one loan signing.
Oh, they're fucking tight. I'll tell you that. They're fucking tight. No, it's set up so far because I've still got. You start with Matt O'Reilly, Kyogo, all that, and you always get like 15 mil bid for Kyogo, 20 million bid for Days, and within a season, bloody guys like Naroki are worth 10 mil. It's ridiculous. It's takes you out of the realism.
I'm going to say it though. Actually, if you think about it, would O be the player that he is in Belgium playing in this current system, a centre forward who can hold up and link up play?
Very similar to Iheanacho. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, exactly. And you have a look at Naroki, what he's doing in Poland. Is he playing in Poland or in Germany? That's right. Playing on the right side of a back three. And where are we weak at the moment? Right side of a back three.
Did we sell Naroki or is he still on loan?
No, he's on loan. We sold Lagerbelke.
That's right. They're just like a package duo in my head now.
So...
Hey, even Stephen Welsh is killing it at Motherwell. Like, let's be honest, he's better than anything we got in the back three at the moment.
He's found his level, that's why.
And they're about to be above us. That's their level.
Fuck, I know. Anyway, second half, Liam, do you want to just give a quick overview of the shite show that was?
Oh, God. I think Wilfred Nancy walked out for the second half and went, "You thought Motherwell was a shit show? Watch this." It was, it just... a masterclass in how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. That's what it was. I'll say it now. If we had Kyogo or somebody like Kyogo in the team, we'd have been 3 or 4-0 up by half time. And even if Nancy made a total arse of it like he always does in the second half, we would probably still have won. And that's the problem, is that even when we show flashes of playing quite well, because this system, it's not the system that's the problem, it's how he's implementing it is the problem, right? He's not got the players to do it. You see occasional flashes of when it works. Look, Yang's goal was a thing of absolute beauty, right? And it came from the wing back cutting in and beating a couple of men and blasting it into the net, right? That's when it works. But that is like 1 or 2% of the time. The rest of the time, it's complete chaos. And that's not going to get any better. Right? That's not going to get any better. This isn't a thing of like, just keep drilling it, and we'll get it. It's like, it's not like an exam that you can study for and get better and you can pass it, right? If you've not got the ability to play in that formation, no amount of training is going to change that. Especially when we've got players who have, under the past, if you count Brendan Rodgers twice, under the past 3 managers, they've been used to playing with a back 4 consistently. So that's like, 10 years of playing a back 4. And now we're expected to just rip that up mid-season because of this guy that comes in who, people were not sure about already. And then he starts imposing everything. And it's just like, you don't do that. You don't walk into a club like Celtic and say, I see what Martin O'Neill was doing a month ago that had you in the cup final. Yeah, forget that. We're doing it completely differently. Nobody can walk into a club like Celtic with that level of arrogance, but especially somebody coming from as obscure a place as Wilfred Nancy is. And I mean that with the greatest respect to the MLS. It's probably a better standard of football than most Scottish games, but it's not. You don't get to come from Columbus Crew and dictate to Celtic how they should play their football right from the off. You come in and you see what works and you build on it. And Nancy's just completely incapable of that.
Normally, if you're a coach at any level, you come in, you have a look at your players you have, and you go, okay, what system can I build that's going to suit these players? And this is what I want to get to as my formation, which is what he's doing now. The steps to get to that are, okay, we'll play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. We'll start with that. Then after the transfer window, once I've been in a few, we've won a few games, potentially won a cup, doing well in Europe, and I've been able to strengthen a few key positions. Now let's start to change. In games when we're up, let's get a good 2-3 months of practicing that formation as well as the other at training. So then if we're in a game and you're up 3-0 or 4-0 or something like that in the second half, you can go, all right, let's give this a crack for the next 30 minutes of game time and get some match simulation so that it's ready to go for the next year. That's ideally what you would do. You don't just come in and go, yeah, Brendan Rodgers was there and then he left and Martin O'Neill's come in and he's just simplified the game plan, made us play a lot more direct and it suits the players and win 7 out of your 8 games there. But then in your first 8 games, come in, tear everything up and lose 6 of those 8. And think you can tell all of us in press conferences that, what was the quote after the game? It's looking promising other than the score or something along those lines. And I'm like, dude, you talk absolute shit. I'd rather listen to Elliot West talk.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jared, but do you know what that reminds me of, right? And Scotland shirt on. This, anybody from Scotland will remember this, right? When Craig Brown was managing Scotland back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and we were just utter mince, right? We'd qualified for the World Cup in 98, and we did nothing for a couple of decades after that, right? But we would go out. We would go out and get gubbed like 3 or 4-0 by, I don't know, Tunisia or something, and he would walk on and go, well, there's many positive aspects to take from this game. And, if they hadn't scored 4 goals, we'd have won. It's like, no.
That's like the Stevie Gerrard comment. If the games were 80 minutes, we would have won the league.
Aye, and if your auntie had
You're
balls,
looking-
she'd be, well, whatever she wants to be, because we don't gender discriminate on this show.
Look, there's two things, and it comes off that point for me. The real concern with Nancy, it's not inherently that he has a system that he wants to play. It's that he's come in, seen what we've got, seen the players we've got, seen how they've been played, seen how they've been best utilised. Clearly, there was a drawn-out process. He had time to go back and look at plenty of tape, let's be honest. The change from the horseshoe and Rogers to the way, as you said, Martin made us more direct. He's come in with that in mind and gone, right, we're going to still try and implement this system, this massive change, this big overhaul with no time, no ability to implement it outside. Right, we're playing Dundee United this week, go. You're going to be playing in this position. And that's when you've got things like the fucking tactics board and calling Calmac over 500 times a game, because it's management on the fly at that point. And then you come away from that. The second problem, and I can't watch a press conference with this bloke. They've done my head in too quickly. There's positives, there's good things here, there's this and that. Even if there is, shut the fuck up. Honestly, not I you know, as and I fully agree. And I've watched quite a bit of MLS since we was sort of first linked with Nancy. Game by game, it's probably a better standard than fucking Falkirk versus fucking East Kilbride or whoever the fuck's playing. Sorry, I'm getting really frustrated.
Dan, I'll just back you up on that there quickly. The Optus stats that they look at for league rankings, the MLS is 10th or 11th in the world. Scotland's 27th or 28th.
Yeah.
So
even the A League's higher than Scotland.
Jesus Christ. And the A League is fucking awful.
It is.
Go on, Sydney.
Ooh.
I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, you can't come to Scotland and try." You cannot. You cannot come to a club like Glasgow Celtic, this huge, storied. It's more than a club, and we say it, I don't give a fuck if people think we're arrogant or what. It is more than a club. You can't come here and want to be this French guru from far off that I will have my system. You will see if you do your job. We should have won this, or we should have scored more goals, while we're getting gubbed by fucking Dundee United, and then going into a derby game against what is objectively one of the poorer Hun teams that I've seen over the last decade. They are pretty shit, and just capitulating. Don't sit there and tell me what I'm seeing isn't happening.
He thinks he's some sort of football savant, and we're all dumb for not seeing what he thinks. That's how I feel whenever I listen to him in his press conferences. And what I'm saying.
You can throw Paul Tisdale in that fucking mix too.
Yep.
Well, he's the one that hired him, so yep.
It's a two-man circle jerk, those two. There you go.
Look, it didn't really get any traction on Twitter, but I was really happy with my Photoshop of Dr. Harold Shipman over Tisdale in that fucking Burberry suit.
I'll be honest, mate. I saw it, and that was a bit of a challenging wank. I'm not going to lie.
I was like, look, when you get your football doctor from Temu, you're going to get the one that's bumping you off to.
Don't worry, Dan. I'm getting that to bring up on the screen for you.
Look, no one. I got no traction with the Wilfred Nancy as the guy from Naked Gun who's going, "There's nothing to see here. Go away." So I thought, you know what? Let's go full Harold Shipman jokes. It's not too soon, is it?
So you could have blended them and put O.J. Simpson in, because he was in Naked Gun, you know.
True, but he was also innocent, and he was found acquitted. Sorry, so by a court of law. So,
but as innocent as Michael Jackson with his trousers around his ankles in Mother Care, let's be honest. Right?
I'll tell you what. While Jared finds that, it's sort of obviously it's gone now. But when O.J. Simpson first joined Twitter, he was mostly posting videos, and it was all just talking football shit or American football shit. But you would just go in the comments, and it was like, could you take a stab at picking the winner tonight, OJ? Who do you think
Who's going to make the cut?
who do you think they should cut this week? And then there'd be all these like really little new, and then someone would just be like, "Hey, remember that time you murdered your fucking wife and her friend?" It's just Jesus Christ. Sorry,
And bring you back.
to bring you back to Harold Shipman.
Oh, you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh, but you cry.
I'll sit back now.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll just go on a few comments and then we'll keep ranting for the next hour. Has he been sacked yet, Liam?
Let's see.
In the meantime,
not yet.
And Andrew Galea, the league is a 5-horse race. It's wide open. We could still buy our way out of this. Not if Tisdale's in charge. Fuck. We'll get some donkeys. Smell the glove. If Nancy is still at that hotel in the Highlands, I'm hoping he's snowed in until May. Yeah, so just scroll. Let's just scroll through. Fuck, let's see what we've got here. What time does the office open at the club this morning? It's usually 8 a.m. is when the stock exchange opens and they can start doing things. So
yeah, it will be open right now, as of like 40 minutes ago.
What they say though is that what okay, I'm just going to go on a little thing here, just as something I read. Celtic being on the stock exchange, the first thing they do is if they drop knowledge, like they've sacked their manager, Tisdale's gone, all this on a Monday, share price plunges, right? So ideally what they want to do in a week cycle is you want to wait till you get till Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, drop it then, and then it doesn't fuck up your share price for the week. So I can actually see our dickhead board thinking, oh, we've got to protect the share price, rather than let's get a new manager in and train up this team, get them that the guys actually starting to feel like footballers again.
I'm starting to wonder if the only chance we've got of getting rid of this board is if Desmond shows up in the Epstein files. Honest to God. I'm not saying he has. I'm not saying he has. I'm just saying that's probably our best hope at this point.
Knowing Dermot and knowing Celtic, he would have gone to a much cheaper island.
Yep.
I know where he's paying for a private jet.
I'll just get out of here now.
Yeah. So let's just have a look at it this way. Nancy gets the flick, right? What are you thinking? Who do we bring in? Is it going to be Martin O'Neill coming back in for 18 months? Is it going to be? Are we going to have another crack at getting McKenna from Ipswich? Is it going to be our Aussie Lord and Saviour, Ange? I love this one I've seen here. Harry, Mr. Postecoglou, we're a disenchantted little Glasgow club that needs a half-decent manager. I can coach that. I like that one. They left the mate off that picture there. I can coach that, mate. But yeah, it's, is it going to be someone like him? What are you thinking? What do you reckon we need? Because whatever we do here, we're potentially having our 4th manager of the season. We're getting into Hun territory. This is fucked. This is like the stuff we've laughed at them about on this pod for the last 7 or 8 years. This is they're loving it. They're gonna be trying to clip as many of us as possible, and we might be on follow getting laughed at, and they'll be like, "Shut up your ass, you absolute flogs." But anyway,
let's just remind them that despite the fact we've lost 4 of our last 6 league games and we're in the worst run of form possibly in our entire history, they're still only on the same points we are. I'm just saying.
And I don't want to speak for all of us, but I'm fairly confident none of us have fucked a blood relative. So,
no, definitely not. No.
Yeah, makes sense.
That said, I think it's Martin or it's someone nearby who Dermot knows who can come in and they won't rush into. I don't think they rush into another permanent appointment now because they royally fucked this up, and I think they'll become.
It's somebody until the summer. It's either going to be Maloney or Martin O'Neill, realistically. I'd love it to be Ange, but if we were going to make a move to get Ange back, it would be in the summer. I think he
He's
said
got too
himself
big
he
of a
needs time
payoff.
out. So
He's got too much of a payoff happening too. Why would he want to come back at the moment? Like he's getting what £3.5 million payoff from Nottingham Forest. He's still got his Tottenham payoff as well. Like he's just probably lounging there in his speedos, just swim in his pool, just like rolling over in $100 bills or something like that. Like why would he want to come back from warm Melbourne down here over to Glasgow to walk into this shit show? At least Peter Lawwell's out the door though.
Some
Just like
improvement.
yeah.
I just want to get back to the days of him calling Keith Jackson mate, and him and Jackson having no idea that what Ange actually means by that. You know?
Yep.
It's like, out here, if I call you a cunt, it means I like you. If I call you mate,
It means you're a cunt. Yeah. Oh.
Straight up, I'm just having a scroll through some. Oh, there we go. They're trying to. There's some idiot called Fraser Fletcher. I've heard he's an absolute knob who's saying that Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney would be ready to step in again and needed until the summer. Beyond that's when the return of Ange is more realistic.
Yeah, that Fraser guy is to journalism what Adolf Hitler was to bagel sales in the 1940s in Germany. So yeah,
Yep. Thought so.
I thought Epstein stuff was going to be the real low light, but well done.
We're going all out on this episode. It's the crowd's loving it. See how many cease and desists we get this week.
Oh. I just want to say for the point, Dermot Desmond is definitely not in the Epstein files. All right, definitely not. Okay.
I don't give a fuck if he is. Like, what's he going to do?
I'm actively forging his name on documents as we speak.
Maybe I'll start putting that in every blog now. You know, Dermot Desmond, who is not Celtic's owner and definitely not in the Epstein files.
No, it needs to be more like it's unconfirmed. Although unconfirmed, it is believed he is not named in the Epstein file.
Allegedly.
So I'm just going to get some comments here. So Heavy Vibes is saying Lennon, for fuck's sake, would be one of them.
God, no.
Mickey
We wouldn't pay Dunfermline to get him, would we?
Nah. Mickey Moynihan saying we need to move on from rebooting previous managers.
In the summer, yes. But right now, just get someone who can get the job done.
Michael Carroll, let's be honest, our board hate us fans so much they won't sack this French fandom and we'll end up fourth if we're lucky. Yeah, that's something me and Shane were talking about off air a few weeks back. Like I said to him, by the time we get through this derby game, I could see us sitting in third or fourth. And midweek, the Huns beat Aberdeen, who just sacked their coach. So now we've got the worst coach in the league. Yeah, it could be a possibility that we're in third going into the game on the weekend against Dundee United.
Do we possibly just get Jimmy Tellin to take us to the end of the season?
Oh, fuck.
It's a slight improvement.
Heavy Vibes as hope I'm wrong, but Nancy's here till the league's lost.
But another 3 weeks at this rate.
And then Andrew Goulet saying, who would want to be our fourth manager of the season? The squad is still the same with that shit attitude. I was going to name the episode Shite Bags, a lot of them, but I don't know how YouTube would have taken that one, so I just skipped over it. But yeah, the playing squad, and we'll tie this into Luke McCowan's comments, right? So I have no problem with him coming out saying he's the manager, expressing, like, trying to be clever. He's basically, when you hear what he said, and what he said is like, yeah, he's the manager, so we've got to do this because he's a manager, and he said that's what he wants to do, right? So it's towing the company line as in like, yep, this is what he's telling us to do. We may not agree with it. I'm not calling the gaffer or the boss. He's the manager, so I'm going to do it, right? So there's some subtle digs there, but at the same time, if I was in McCowan's shoes, I wouldn't have had the composure to keep it under control. I'd have been like, this guy's fucking clueless. And now we're all looking hopeless. So I look at it and go, if I was Calmac, I'd be taking that Saudi money. Oh, smell the glove. Fuck, here we go. There we go. Just join the chaos. Joseph Fritzl seen coming off the private jet at Glasgow Airport.
No, he's just a good old family man, Joseph.
I saw something once describe him as the most evil man in Austrian history. I thought, Maybe not quite. Maybe number 2.
Look, he caused some real problems for people with the last name Fritzl. But beyond that,
It's like
look,
the other bloke ruined anyone whose name was Adolf growing up. They all became Dolphs, and that word name's disappeared as well. Vinny is saying, "Can we get Donald to detain Wilfred in putting Celtic formation into disrepute for putting it?"
Do you really think that Donald Trump is going to spend the millions of pounds it would take to bring a black guy into America? Come on.
I was going to say, they're definitely counting him in their statistics for deportations too,
Aye,
right?
aye.
Definitely.
Him and the assistant, that's at least another 2 off their quota.
Heavy vibes. Take the Motherwell manager.
Mercedes Jens, get him in.
Chris is saying the same shite bags one under Martin. Exactly. I'm not saying shite bags as in just the players are shite bags. I'm saying everyone's a fucking shite bag. The board, not the fans, but the board, the fucking management team, the players. Yeah, it's just fucked. The
Half the
Cops, did you
backroom
see what they
staff.
did in the game? Some bloke's just trying to get back to his chair in the main stand. And he gets fucking bent backwards by the neck and dragged out of there. Freaks.
Meanwhile, about 4 or 5 Huns jump on the pitch when they score, and the police like, please go back to your seat, boys. Please, let's not have any trouble here.
And they let those cunts out fucking sing us in our own stadium about being up to their knees in our blood and all this sort of shit as well in our own stadium. Like, fuck me dead.
In fairness, Liam, if the cops did arrest any of those Huns on the pitch, it would have made their next family reunion quite awkward.
Yeah. I imagine going home and explaining that to your wife. I mean, sister. I mean,
sister wife.
Sister, wife, family pet. All one and the same.
It's like, sorry, I arrested your brother. Yep.
Ultimately, I'm going to say we all know the squad that we have got is not good enough for what we want or where we should be. The fact that it's less than 12 months since we went toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich in Germany. People keep mentioning that, but it's the obvious focal point to draw from because it was such a high to such a low. But as others have pointed out, we were winning games by and large under Brendan for a while. It was pretty dour stuff. We then won games quite well under Martin. There was some good performances. There was also some shit performances. It's not all rose-tinted glasses. Even the last game against Dundee was pretty fucking awful. I can't remember who the 1-0 with the 90... Was it St Mirren that we beat in the 94th minute or whatever it was with the Calmac? Overall, the squad is not the quality that we should have. But that is worsened by this bloke sticking with this formation and continuing to play blokes out of position in styles that don't suit them, in positions that don't suit them. I think you look at the group of players that's played under Nancy, the only guy that I think has either stayed on the same level or improved is Yang. Everyone else has declined.
It's one other. Trusty.
Aye, Trusty. I was going to say Trusty's been decent.
Okay.
So much of that's negated by how shit he was in the derby, though. He was really bad.
You're talking about an 8-game stint there, Dan. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah. No, look, he had good moments. I won't argue. It was good to see him get a run. I thought, particularly under Martin, but I'm with you.
Why I'm saying Trusty is it's because most of the time he's playing the back four. Those games where Carter Vickers would come charging back and get that last minute tackle in to stop a break. We'd have one of them every 2 or 3 games maximum, right? And it's normally Carter Vickers. Trusty has, under Nancy, Trusty's been doing 2 to 3 of them a game.
He is definitely
so
working
exposed. So for that reason alone, I just think, and he's the only over 6-footer in our back line. Oh, how's that work? The guy from Columbus Crew who was in the crowd as well, Moriera, would be linked. He was a left back a right back who plays right centre back in that back three. He's 5'9". I mean, like, Shane's almost taller than him. There you go. And he's like the shortest human I know that's a fully fledged adult.
That was the first thing I went and looked at. I was like, all right, well, I'll go and see what this Stephen Moreira's like. Oh, he's fucking tiny.
And I looked at him and thought, fuck me, you may as well get Tilio back.
I love coming on here. It's a rare laugh.
If you don't
So-
laugh, you cry, right?
So I'll bring up some comments here. Bonnie is saying we've been needing upgrades for our players for a long time. Yeah, we've still got the majority of Ange's squad at the moment. James Smith saying, "Come on, boys, the Joseph will Celtics and board of greedy cunts." I only done this because of the last bit, and the players are all pussies. Well, apparently, pussy is now over in Cologne.
Yeah,
Girls, don't put cologne on your pussy. That's asking for trouble.
Something smells about that.
Yeah, smell the glove. Munich, Claxton. We've been shit since Munich. There you go. Thanks for bringing that up. Brave Sir Robin, 69. Nice. Is Marco Rosa not out of a job? Has to be. I think he is out of a job. Get him in.
How's he unemployed and yet Wilfred Nancy is? Make it make sense.
Vinny's spot on. Like and subscribe, everyone. We can get CDU to overhaul the board. Well, we've got enough 6-footers to come in here and just like throw people through windows instead of taking photos of fans through it. So there's enough of us who could, break some doors down.
I can't fight for shit, but I am 6'3", so I look imposing.
So if we get you, me, Liam, and Johnny, I think we've got 4 of us all 6'3" and up. There you go. We're laughing.
Aye. I'll knock them out, Dan, and then you just sit on them, right? Problem solved.
There's a backline for you.
Jesus Christ. Isn't it fucking depressing?
Stephen McGonigal, I've started a new party called the SMP. Sack Nancy, please. I'm looking for votes.
You got my vote.
Can I be a number 1 ticket holder? Smell the gloves, yeah. 6'9" centre halves do 5'9" centre halves do great in Scotland.
Yeah, that's
60% of the time it works every time.
Oh, Anchorman reference. Well played.
And Vinny's saying Liam carries a pot noodle and a samurai sword. Look out. Yeah, one in each hand.
Aye.
Robert Gibson, I'm 5'9" and was a winger. There you go.
All right, hang on.
winger
While you've got Robert Gibson on the brain, Lewis Palmer, improvement in this squad or not?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. While you're here, Robert, let us know. Is Lewis Palmer still someone who regularly partakes of the 5-knuckle shuffle, or are you willing to give him another chance?
Brilliant. So, boys, what are you thinking going forward for the next game coming up? Are we going to have a new manager in place by then? What's your gut feel? I know we've spoken about it. We've had a laugh. Is this board going to actually do anything, or are they just going to hold us in contempt and be like, nah, fuck you guys, don't tell us what to do? What are you thinking, Liam?
I think it's going to depend on whether or not Martin O'Neill knocks them back. Because the rumour, and I stress it is just a rumour, but I've heard it from multiple people, is that they want Martin O'Neill to come back and sort this mess out, but they just want to bring him in until the end of the season. And O'Neill wants an 18-month deal. I would happily give Martin O'Neill an 18-month deal and bring in a young manager next season to be mentored by him, and then you hand the reins over in 18 months' time, and we're in a much better place. It's a fresh start. We've got a new manager, and in the meantime, we could still win this league because our players are crap at the moment, but so are Rangers, and Hearts aren't much better. Hearts have topped the league this season by just being mediocre. Let's be honest, right? They're the only team in Scotland that hasn't been pish, which is why they are top of the league. All the other teams have been crap. That is why, if we can just be adequate for the rest of the season, that's enough to win the league, I reckon. Because Hearts will lose games. The Huns will definitely lose games. If we can just be mediocre for the rest of the year, that's all we have to do.
Well, the thing is, Liam, like if you look at the table, there's like 10 points between first and fifth.
Yeah.
And then from where we are, we'll be in third by the weekend. Between us and 10th is like 7 points. There's actually less points to be. We're closer to the bottom, like the bottom three, than we are to the top two. Oh,
Yep.
sorry, to the top one. So it's a bit of a well, there's a potential for that. So if the Huns come on here, like Smell the God saying by next Sunday the Huns will be 5 points ahead of us if we scrape a draw with Dundee United, and that's the ridiculous part. And there's another comment here, which is Andrew Galea saying the manager will probably stay because no one wants the gig. And Stephen McMonagall is where I was going to go. Liam, you're saying bring in a young manager and work with Martin. Stephen's saying Martin O'Neill and Scott Brown, Liam, yes or no? Like
Yes.
that's what
Yes.
that is exactly what I thought because they are both of that mindset. They're both leaders. But at the same time, if Bruni doesn't want that role to come in and he might think it's too soon or whatever, I'm going to throw a bit of a left field suggestion here that's not Sean Maloney. Just 'cause I want to see how much shit I'm going to cop in the comments for this. Martin O'Neill, head coach, understudy, Charlie Mulgrew. I think he has a really switched on brain for football.
Yep. I'd be okay with that. I would definitely be okay with that. And I think he's personable enough that he'll be able to smooth any friction between players and manager if there was any as well.
And that's why I was picking him. He ticks a lot of boxes for a multitude of reasons. The media would love him. He'd have that new age media, like the podcasters, like all of us, like, and then you got like your Cy Ferries and those sort of guys would love him too. At the same time, he's young enough to still be able to relate to the players. He's got a kid coming through the academy, so we can have our own. The club loves nepotism, so there you go, perfect. So I'm ticking all the boxes here. You've got media, you've got coaching ability, you've got nepotism. He knows the club, he knows the city. What else is there?
It's not the worst shout. It's not the worst shout. I think he had a pretty shit time. Where was he? He was League Two,
Yeah,
Edinburgh City
Robert
or something.
Gibson. No, he's a cunt.
Thanks for clarifying. I assumed you would
Yes.
say that.
Thanks for clearing up that issue, Robert. I'm glad we can move forward now. We're all better for knowing that. Thank you.
Franny Jacqueline, we need a new manager, interim or not, before facing United at the weekend.
Yes.
Why is he still here? Aberdeen sacked a guy for losing run of games. The board not fit to run this club. Heavy vibes. Here you go. Will we make the top six split if Nancy stays? Dan.
Yes. Yes, we would, but we would be fourth at best because Motherwell are going to overtake us on current trajectory. Motherwell, who look, if Nancy stays, maybe I buy like a half season pass to be a Motherwell fan because I do like watching them play. They are very good to watch. I'm all in on Mercedes Jens in a big way, but no, look, I don't think. I think the board, while there is obviously concern and frustration and all those fun words with where we're at, and there was whatever reported that they were a bit worried he was some of his comments and his 7-minute rants in the media, which is always a good sign when the manager can do that. I think there is a stubbornness there. I think there is a willingness to see the project through to the bitter end, regardless, because they're not swayed by fan sentiment. I don't think there's a care in the world about what we think. And the guys that have put not that they're going to say, well, we appointed him, we can't get rid of him, but I think there's probably buy-in that they knew they were making big changes. They would have obviously had to discuss the system changes and the tactical tweaks that were going to come, or the tactical overhaul that was going to come with bringing him in, and they pulled the trigger. So I think they see the project through to the bitter, bloody, depressing end.
So before we go to you, Liam, for your thoughts, I'm having a look at the table now. So we're in second on 38 points. Seventh spot is Dundee United on 25 points, and we have a game in hand over them as well. So so I don't see us dropping all the way back there. But as Dan said, fourth, fifth spot, I could see. Like we're only 4 points ahead of Hibs. We've got a game in hand, but we haven't won those points yet. So we're 4 points ahead of Hibs in fifth. So it's absolute shambles. But Liam, what do you think?
I think if the board by some complete, I mean, even by their standards of incompetence, surely they must see they've got to make the change. But if they don't, and Nancy's here at the end of the season, fourth is a possibility, but I think we'll finish third. We'll probably win around 40 to 50% of the remaining games, which will be enough to kind of keep us where we are without doing anything in terms of getting anywhere near the title.
And be a drastic improvement on current results.
Yeah.
30 to 40%.
I know. But remember what I said a minute ago. Despite that, we're still level on points with Rangers and we're only 6 behind Hearts. So they're not going to pull away either if they maintain their current form. They're almost as bad as we are. So,
and look, it's coming through the comments. There is a sacking.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
It's not been confirmed by the club as far as I can see, but David Ornstein's reported it, so that's as good as, I think.
3 minutes ago.
So poor old Ruben Amorim is gone. But
you had my hopes up. It was Nancy, you bastard.
I was going to say the manager of the Fir Hill McDonald's has been placed on gardening leave pending assessment of his poor run of reform. No.
Boo. Boo.
It's just so and even that, like, you look forward and they're like, all right, it's the January transfer window, club signing this new winger, the right winger, left-footed right winger from the Israeli league, Jocelyn Tai Bar or Bar Tai or whatever it is. He looks. I hope I'm wrong. If we sign it, he looks fucking awful. I watched 10, 15 minutes of YouTube highlights and couldn't come up with a positive to take away. So if that's the selling point.
He might be decent when Nancy plays him in goal, you know. You never know.
They're bringing him in to do the oranges, Liam.
Oh, God.
It's
had enough oranges at the stadium on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Hang on. I just want to acknowledge that. That was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was just the police.
There you go, Stephen. Yes. Nancy to Man United. Andrew Galea. We are still buying prospects. And that's the fuck thing. Do we have a coach who can develop them? I'm going to start to wrap up this pod in the simplest way possible. Going forward, what do we want? I've said it enough. Jackie Mack, director of football, bring him in. He's been an agent, a coach. He knows the club, all this shit. Bring him in because realistically, the way shit has worked with Tisdale is pretty simple. We need to know, are we going to have a style of play and then we have our manager, but then we have another list of 5 to 10 managers on it that if someone leaves, these guys can come in and keep us going with what we've been doing. As we spoke on earlier, for the last 10 years, we play with a back four. Or we're just going to have some weird fucker in a shit suit running around going, this bloke, going around saying, yep, I'm just going to chop and change things because he's a self-proclaimed football doctor. We need to sort out that side of the board need to go, obviously. Board need to go. There needs to be change. We need to get a football director of football in. Tisdale needs to go. Nancy needs to go. His staff need to go. Stevie Woods needs to come back. We need to clear out some of the dead wood in our squad. We need to bring in players who actually want to be there and put some effort in. We need to fix our fucking youth academy. And then we can look at other things off the field, like upgrading the stadium and so on and so forth. We need all of that. In what order? The manager has to go first, though, because that's the hero now that's going to help us in the current situation we are on the pitch. Because and why I'm going on this rant at the end here is because I want to throw to you guys for the last little topic. Is it time to protest? Is there going to be walkouts? Is there going to be we're going to have walk-ins? Are we going to have walkouts? Are we going to have people skipping games? What's the next step here? There's something. If the club's not going to listen to it, to the fans, they're not going to listen to the people who put money in their pockets and have allowed this club to run so well for the last few years. They're not going to listen to all of us. They're not getting another penny anyway. They're going to have empty seats, and they're going to have to get them tarps out. So, what do you think, Liam?
I think we're at a point now with the board where even if Marie Antoinette was here, she'd be like, do you know what? Maybe those working class people actually have a point, you know? One for the history buffs there. No, look, we've tried being nice with them. We've tried speaking with them. We've tried soft protests. We have tried angry shouting at them. We have tried everything. It's not worked. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. The only thing capitalists love is money. Their only fear is losing money. We need to do everything possible to hurt these people financially. Whether it's not just their businesses at Celtic, but any other businesses that the Celtic board are involved in. We need to start boycotting those companies and say, look, nothing against you, nothing against your staff. You're giving that guy money. And by proxy, you're hurting Celtic. So, no more business.
Apparently, Liam, a couple of the I've heard a couple of the sponsors are already starting to voice that opinion that they're not liking what's going on anyway.
Good. That's the way it needs to be.
Dan, Comrade Dan.
Guillotines and firing squads.
Fucking you fucker. Chris in the comments, first time here. Welcome. Subscribe to the channel, mate, if you like what we're doing. And we're on every Monday, 8 p.m. Melbourne time. Thursdays there's a pod that potentially will come back at some point when my work schedule fixes up. That's usually 7:30 on a Thursday night. So thanks to everyone joining in. Smell the glove. Boycott everything. Heavy vibes. Boycott. Yeah, it needs to happen. Benny's being put a pile of cow manure. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. So, yeah. Final thoughts, everyone. What do you got, Liam?
I'll let you go first, Dan. On you go. I'm still contemplating.
Stormzy, get to fuck.
What's a Stormzy?
I used to like him too. I didn't know he was a cunt.
That's very harsh, Dan. That is very harsh. Cunts serve an important biological imperative. I've told you this.
Listen up, Padawan learner.
Right. My final thought is change is coming. The Celtic board have a choice: either embrace it or get out of the way. I don't mean that to be a threat. I mean it as a statement of fact. Things are going to change. You can either be part of it or you can be removed to make way for it. It's up to you. But change is coming.
Liam, you kind of took my final thought because I was going to end it really simple. In the words of Chris Ludacris Bridges, move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. That's directed to the board and Nancy, so fuck off. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hail, hail, and we'll see you in the next pod.
Hail, hail.
Well.